The air hung heavy, thick with the metallic scent of rust and decay. The fog swirled around the abandoned industrial area, shrouding the old factory in an eerie, almost otherworldly atmosphere. The once bustling site now stood silent, a ghost of its former self, with rusty machinery and decaying structures telling tales of a forgotten past. A shiver ran down my spine as I gripped the cold iron bars of the factory gate. The metal was rough and corroded, a testament to years of neglect and abandonment. My heart pounded in my chest, each beat echoing the trepidation I felt. The gate was a barrier not just physical but psychological, separating the known world from the mysteries that lay within. It groaned open, a wounded animal protesting my intrusion. The sound was almost mournful, as if the gate itself was aware of the secrets it guarded. The creaking echoed through the empty factory grounds, a haunting melody that seemed to resonate with the very soul of the place. Each inch the gate moved felt like a step deeper into the unknown. The keep out sign, little more than faded paint on rusted metal, did little to deter my morbid curiosity. It was a relic of a time when warnings were heeded, but now it stood as a mere suggestion, easily ignored by those drawn to the factory's dark allure. The sign's message was clear, but the pull of the forbidden was stronger. This was the place, the infamous site of the 10-minute death, a local legend whispered in hushed tones. The factory's dark history was woven into the fabric of the town's folklore, a chilling tale that had been passed down through generations. It was said that those who entered the factory would meet their end within 10 minutes, their lives claimed by an unseen force. The legend was a mix of fear and fascination, a story that both repelled and attracted the curious. As I stood at the threshold, I couldn't help but wonder if the stories were true, and if I was about to become another chapter in the factory's grim history. Inside, the factory was a cavernous space, the silence broken only by the drip, drip, drip of water echoing through the vast emptiness. The sound was rhythmic, almost hypnotic, as if the factory itself was trying to communicate in a language long forgotten. The walls, once bustling with the hum of machinery and the chatter of workers, now stood as silent sentinels, bearing witness to the passage of time. Dust motes danced in the pale moonlight, filtering through grimy windows, casting long dancing shadows that seemed to writhe and twist with a life of their own. The moonlight, a silvery beacon in the darkness, illuminated the factory's forgotten corners, revealing the intricate patterns of decay. Each shadow told a story, a fleeting glimpse into the past, where the factory was alive with activity. Now, these shadows were the only remnants of that bygone era, moving gracefully in the stillness. Each step I took echoed in the oppressive silence, the sound seeming to amplify the loneliness of the place. The floor, covered in a fine layer of dust, muffled my footsteps slightly, but the echo persisted, bouncing off the walls and reverberating through the empty halls. It was as if the factory was amplifying my presence, making me acutely aware of the solitude that enveloped me. The silence was almost tangible, pressing down on me with an invisible weight. The air grew colder, a damp chill that seeped into my bones, raising goosebumps on my arms. The temperature seemed to drop with each passing moment, the cold wrapping around me like a shroud. The factory, once a place of industry and warmth, now felt like a tomb, its cold embrace a stark reminder of its abandonment. The dampness in the air clung to my skin, making each breath feel heavy and laboured. It was a place where time stood still, and the past lingered in every corner, whispering its secrets to those who dared to listen. A sudden clang from the depths of the factory sent my heart racing. I froze, listening intently. Was it just the wind playing tricks on my nerves, or was there something else here with me? The hair on the back of my neck stood on end. A low hum began to vibrate through the floor, growing steadily louder, accompanied by a rhythmic thumping that seemed to pulse in time with my own quickening heartbeat. I followed the sound, my hand trailing along a cold metallic railing, its surface rough with rust. It led me deeper into the heart of the factory, towards a massive hulking machine that dominated the room. A conveyor belt snaked away from it, disappearing into the shadows. It was moving, slowly at first, then steadily gaining speed. But it was empty. Empty, yet running, as if expecting a grim offering. The machine itself was a monstrous tangle of metal, gears grinding against each other with a deafening screech, sparks showering down like fiery rain. The rhythmic thumping was coming from its core, a hypnotic beat that seemed to draw me closer, urging me to peer into its depths. A wave of dizziness washed over me, the metallic scent in the air growing stronger, almost overpowering. 10 minutes to midnight. I glanced at my watch. I had been inside for almost 10 minutes. 10 minutes. The legend flashed through my mind, sending a fresh wave of terror through me. The 10-minute death. What did it mean? Was it a countdown? Was my time running out? Panic welled up inside me, threatening to consume me. I had to get out, now. Revelation. But as I turned to flee, a figure stepped out from the shadows, blocking my path. A tall, imposing figure shrouded in darkness. My blood ran cold. This was it. This was the end. I closed my eyes, bracing myself for the inevitable. But the blow never came. Instead, I heard a soft chuckle. I heard a soft sanctuary. "Scared you, did I?" the figure said, his voice surprisingly gentle. He stepped into the light, and I saw that he was an old man, his face etched with wrinkles, but his eyes twinkling with amusement. "I'm the caretaker here," he explained, "and you're not supposed to be here." Relief washed over me, so powerful it almost made me weak. I wasn't going to die, not today. A glimmer in the darkness. In the heart of the night, the factory stood like a silent sentinel, its walls whispering secrets of a bygone era. The air was thick with the scent of rust and decay, yet there was something almost magical about the place. The old man, his name was William, told me the story of the factory. His voice was a soft murmur, filled with the weight of years and the wisdom of countless stories. He spoke of a time when the factory was alive, bustling with activity and the hum of machinery. It wasn't a place of death, he said, but a place of creation. The machines, now silent and covered in dust, once roared with life, producing wonders that amazed the world. William's eyes sparkled with a mix of nostalgia and pride as he recounted the factory's golden days. The 10-minute death was just a myth, a story made up to keep people away. It was a tale spun from fear and ignorance, a way to shroud the factory in mystery and keep its secrets hidden. But William knew better. He had seen the factory's true potential, its ability to create and inspire. He led me out of the factory, the lantern he carried casting a warm glow that chased away the shadows and the fear. The light flickered and danced, revealing glimpses of the factory's former glory. As we walked, William spoke of the people who had worked there, their dreams and aspirations, and the legacy they left behind. As I stepped out into the night air, I took one last look at the factory. The building, though worn and weathered, seemed to stand a little taller, as if it had been waiting for someone to remember its story. The night was cool, and the stars above twinkled like distant memories. It still looked ominous, but now I saw a glimmer of something else. There was a sense of resilience, a quiet strength that spoke of endurance and hope. The factory, once a symbol of fear, now seemed to hold a promise of renewal, hope, maybe even beauty. In the darkness, the factory's silhouette was softened by the gentle light of the lantern, and I could see the intricate details of its architecture, the craftsmanship that had gone into its construction. It was a place of history, of stories waiting to be told, the beauty of a place forgotten, waiting to be rediscovered. As I walked away, I couldn't help but feel a sense of connection to the factory and its past. It was a reminder that even in the darkest places, there is always a glimmer of light, a spark of hope that can illuminate the way forward. The factory, with its rich history and untold stories, was a testament to the enduring power of human creativity and resilience. And in that moment, I knew that its story was far from over.